446 days to go until we go on our 2-year minimum full-time on the road picking adventure. Today we're going to talk more about that on The Crazy Picker Life with Wheeler, Dealer, and Banana Peeler. Welcome, fellow pickers and would-be adventurers. Dealer here with the Crazy Picker Life. This is the On the Road Adventure explanation episode. Today is March 10th. It's Friday, and we have 446 days until we go on an on-road adventure. So, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. What is this adventure? What is this trip? Why am I making this video? Why the trip? And the logistics of the trip. Now, about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, I came up with this idea of going on the road full-time picking. And it's really not a new idea. I've been wanting to do it for a while. People like Mike and Frank of the American Pickers, they're on the road most of the time. Now obviously being on the road all the time has several challenges and limitations. We'll talk about some of those in a few minutes. So here's what we're going to do. In 446 days, on May 29th, 2018, we're going to take off, my family, myself, my wife Lon, and my 6 kids, and we're basically selling almost everything we own. We're packing up the inventory, we're packing up some personal belongings, and we are going traveling on the road full-time for at least 2 years. In fact, I think it's going to be 2 years plus a summer. The summers are just too fun to be on the road, right? At the end of the 2 years, we're looking to find a new place to live, a new area of the country. We've got some ideas where we want to do that. So we are going to pick, buy, and sell on the road. We are going to homeschool on the road. 5 of our 6 kids will still be in school. We're going to live on the road. We're going to rent houses in various locations 3 months at a time. So 8 locations over 2 years. Maybe a 9th location the summer of the 3rd year, maybe longer, but at least 2 years. That's what we're planning for. Okay, so why this video? We had this idea, I had this idea 3 or 4 months ago. I brought it up to my wife over dinner. She said, all right. And I was stunned, right? I've been wanting to go on the road full time in an RV or a bus for many, many years. In fact, over 20 years. It never really made sense. Either I didn't have a way to make income, or I was tied to a family business, or we had so many darn kids that my wife wouldn't do it. So, why make this video? I've already talked about the trip. If you look back in the videos 3 months or so ago, I made a couple videos about the trip. I've been talking about the trip. Pretty much everything that we are doing in this business now, other than the day-to-day and make the business work, is we're starting to focus towards downsizing and getting everything ready for the trip. So why make a video like this? Well, we have many new viewers since I made the last video. There have also been a few new revelations and just some questions and comments and things that I want to address. So that's why I'm making the video. Now, why go on a trip like this? Well, the short answer is it'll be a lot of fun. And right along with that is we have the means to do it. So why not? Now, there are a few of you out there, most everybody's encouraging us to do this adventure, live our dreams, get out there, enjoy traveling, enjoy time with the family, enjoy adventuring, obviously enjoy the ups and downs of traveling and trying to do business and homeschooling and live on the road, see some things, experience some things, spend quality time with the family, find some real treasures, buy and sell on the road. Most of you are encouraging us, right? There are a few, however, who like to voice regularly that this is the worst possible idea ever. So everybody is entitled to their opinion, right? So why the trip? I mean, some people make the case, why the trip? It's not good for the kids to move them around. It's not good for your business to move it around. You got this great business. You got this nice town that you live in. It's quiet, clean. Why the heck would you want to do that? You travel some anyway. Why would you want to do that full time, right? Well, like I said, we're up for an adventure, and why not? But there's more to it than that. When I was a kid, my parents took us traveling some, really enjoyed it. Most of the trips that we've taken with the kids have been enjoyable. There are some places we would like to go that it's pretty hard to just go for a week. It's pretty hard just to go for a couple weeks, and we want to spend longer time there. We're also looking for a new place to live, and we have some criteria. So there's some places that we're going to go that we're going to explore as a new possibility to live. Mainly in the South, Midwest, somewhere in the southern Colorado, North, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Texas, somewhere down in there. We want better climate. We want more sunshine. We want less winter. We want a few things like that, right? My family is a close-knit family. We homeschool. We've always homeschooled from the beginning. My son Wheeler will graduate this fall. He will be 18 years old in April. And my youngest is 5 years old, Elizabeth. So the clock is ticking. If we want to do a trip like this, which we do, or I do, and Lon has said yes, so I'm assuming she does, or at least is willing to go along with the craziness. The clock is ticking. We will not always be together as a close-knit family. Wheeler and Kate and Jacob, Banana Peeler, and Benjamin and Samuel and Elizabeth will someday have their own families, or at least move out and explore that idea. The timing is right. Both Lon and I are getting slowly but surely up there in age. In fact, why are we leaving on May 29th, 2018? Well, that's my 50th birthday. And so that just seems like a good idea. So we still have our health. We still have some energy. The time is now. So we're going to do that. We're going to make this a 2-year adventure. I'm sure it will be something that will be remembered in our family for years to come. I like to travel. I like to see things. I like to show the kids things. I like to show the kids some places that we've talked about in history and geography and religion and all that. I'd like to take them to some of these places. I'd like them to see some of the different climates. I'd like them to experience some of the different cultures that are in the United States. Lon and I have spent some time in different parts of the United States earlier in our lives, and I've traveled quite extensively, so I'd like to share some of that with my children. Let's see, what else? Thought there was another big reason. There's other reasons. So, logistically, we'll talk about that in a minute. Why this video? Why the trip? What is the trip? And the logistics. All right, so I'm going to sit down for a minute. Oh! Pretty sure there was another why. Let me turn this camera off and see if I can roll it out of my brain. Okay, so here's another why. I mean, there are other ones. I mean, the adventure is really what it's about. We have lived almost 10 years. I guess it's 10 years. It's 10 years. We've lived 10 years in a small town. And before that, we lived in Wisconsin. And our children, although I wouldn't say that they're sheltered, they are sheltered in a sense that they have been sort of small towned, okay? I grew up in a bigger town, a bigger high school, you know, traveled for some sports things, traveled for some other things. It gives you sort of a different picture of the world when you go out and see it. So, within an environment where mom and dad are along, and even Wheeler and Kate need this because they've been small towned a little bit, we're going to take them out and have them experience some things. Now, we've done this over the last 10 years. We've went to 15 different states. We've traveled quite a bit. We've taken in all kinds of attractions and different events. We've socialized with other homeschool groups, church activities, scout activities, etc., etc., etc. But, you know, we want to go to Alaska. We want to go to Maine and over into Canada. We want to go to both coasts and experience the ocean. We want to go to the deserts. We want to go to the mountains. We want to do all these different things, free activities, paid activities, low key, a few high key, all types of things, right? So we're going to try to give our kids a concentrated experience adventure. We, like I said, have homeschooled and we've talked about a lot of different things. We also want to put some pictures and some experiences in with some of the teachings that we've done over the last 12 years for Wheeler. Our homeschool has actually been pretty intensive, so the kids have a lot of book smarts. This is going to help give them a little bit of street smarts, I'm hoping. So those are some of the reasons. Now here's part of the logistical challenge, okay? And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how this all works. Some of the logistical challenges are, how do you take 8 people and move them and all their belongings that they need with them around the country 3 months at a time? How do you teach school on the road? You know, most people teach school in a public school or a private school or a homeschool all in one location. So we need to do that. How are you going to handle your mail, and how are you going to handle your business packages and mailing, and how are you going to handle your business inventory and all your interactions online to do your buy, sell, eBay business? Well, those are some of the challenges of being on the road, right? Well, I've been thinking about those for a long time, but I've been concentrating and thinking about them in the last few months. So let me draw a picture, right? Picture's worth a few words anyway. So I'm going to use my whiteboard again. I think I have some reflections, so I may need to draw and then pull back a little bit. Okay, so we're in Kansas. Let's call that K, right? our first stop is back to our old stomping ground in Wisconsin. And so logistically, from a big scale, here's what I'm planning to do. I'm going to rent a U-Haul. This is weird drawing through this. There, that's better. A U-Haul truck, okay? And before I rent that U-Haul truck, I'm going to have a lot of my business stuff in a storage unit, and I'm going to have it scoped out. Now, this is my tentative plan. This is my best plan that I have to date, that I've come up with. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I'm going with this versus some other things that have been thought of, talked about, and discussed on my video comments section. I'm going to back my U-Haul up to my storage unit with a ramp, and I'm going to wheel my inventory and other supplies, which will be on my shelves I already have, and my wheels I either already have or will get enough of them. I'm going to wheel that all on that U-Haul. Okay? So I'm going to load up my business, and then whatever personal belongings we need besides that can go in there possibly too. Storage unit will be closed off, right? So now I have my U-Haul loaded up. U-Haul. I'm going to attach a dolly, and I'm going to attach my Jeep. Then we are going to have another vehicle, which my wife is going to drive. Doing a terrible job of drawing it. And this is Wheeler on his skateboard. Or whatever vehicle he drives. He thinks he's going to have a vehicle, so that may materialize, that may not. So we are going to drive with a U-Haul sized up to carry everything we need, and my Jeep in tow, and another chase vehicle that seats 8, which will have some of our personal belongings and whoever doesn't ride in the U-Haul with me. And then Wheeler, we'll see what happens to him, but he's coming along. We will then drive to Wisconsin. I will have a house rented in Wisconsin. House. And we will go and stay at that house. Along with that, somewhere within a reasonable radius, I will have a reasonably large storage unit. I will take my U-Haul. I will go to the storage unit that I either have pre-rented or will rent when I get there. I will wheel off, well, first I'll have to unhook the Jeep. I will wheel off all my stuff into that storage unit for business, all my inventory and all my shipping supplies. I will then drop off the U-Haul truck and at some point get in my Jeep, and we will go and stay in the house in Wisconsin. Okay. Now, we will do that same cycle 3 months later when we head southerly for the fall and winter. We will pack up, get a U-Haul, pack up, close the rental on the storage unit, close the rental on the house, bam, go south, rent a storage unit, rent a house, unpack the U-Haul, take the U-Haul back, and live in the house and work out of the storage unit. Okay, let's talk logistics a little bit. I'm going to put my feet up and relax. Now, some people say, well, you know, you're crazy, so don't do it. And then some people say, hey, maybe a trailer, big trailer, maybe a motorhome or a toy hauler with room in the back, or a big truck, or whatever, right? Maybe the pod system where you call them up, they drop a pod somewhere, you fill it up, they pick it up and put it wherever you want. So all those are ideas that could and would work, and they're not off the table, but there's a couple of reasons I like the U-Haul situation. If I was going to use a trailer other than hauling between point A and point B every 3 months, it may be a better idea to have the trailer, but I don't need it. The only time I need to haul stuff is between storage lockers. Having a trailer, A, is an expense, B, is a bit of a hassle hauling a trailer, C, you have to store it somewhere, D, you have to insure it, and in some places license it. And in some places inspect it so many years or whatever, right? I have driven a U-Haul truck. Yes, it's a truck. It still feels more comfortable to me than a vehicle and a trailer. The U-Haul truck also can be sized from small to medium to pretty huge as needed. I don't think I'm equipped to pull a large enough trailer compared to the large enough U-Haul truck I could haul. Also, larger trailer means larger problems. So if I can get away with a smaller U-Haul, I will. If I need a bigger one, because we find a lot of stuff, I can upgrade to a bigger one, right? Now, the pod system. Here's the deal. We're renting these houses, and they're all different types of houses available. If you go on Airbnb, there's all different kinds, from high rises to tree houses to houses in suburban to houses out in the middle of nowhere to you name it, right? I do not want to have something parked at the house. I don't want people to know I'm doing business at the house. I do not want to attract attention. I want them to think we're on vacation. I think somebody's coming in, so I need a break. Okay, I got BP in the house. He's working on some hats over here. I'm going to try to keep going here. Okay, so I don't want to have to put a pod in the road or the driveway or the yard of the place that I'm staying. I don't want to deal with that. It's a rental, and I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be going in and out of something like that. I don't want to be going in and out of a motorhome or anything like that on my property. I want to show up at the property. I want to get in and out of my car. I want to go into the place. I want to go into the backyard and have a cookout. I want business to be conducted at the place, but on the inside, mainly just a few things to list and a computer. And we'll take a few things to list, in and out, in and out, in and out. It'll look like groceries. So we are remaining low key at the place that we rent for several reasons. That's what I would rather do. That allows us to rent a lot of different types of places. That gives me the flexibility to rent a lot of different types of places. Most of the places that we will rent will have a garage, but I'm finding that most of the places that you rent do not want you to use the garage because they use the garage for their own storage. It's usually off limits. Now, the storage unit that we're looking to rent in these different places will have different criteria than some would think of what a storage unit is. I want one that's got a 24-hour guarded gate. I want a big one. I want a public one. I want one that's well lit. I want one that I can come and go daily. I want one that probably has at least electricity inside and or lighting inside. I don't think I'll need climate controlled. Like I said, it's got to be big enough to house my stuff. I'm going to be going in and out of there at least once a day, 6 days a week. Maybe I can skip a day once in a while, but in reality, I'll be packing stuff there. Lana and I will be packing stuff there daily. So we'll go in for a couple hours and we'll leave. We'll go in for a couple hours and leave. All our inventory will be there. So let's see, what other ideas were brought up? The cost of the U-Haul is not inexpensive. However, it's going to allow us savings in a couple of other ways, and it'll be 100% deductible on our taxes. It's part of our business. It's hauling our business stuff. So it's a wash. I don't have to buy a trailer. I don't have to deal with some of those things. Fuel will probably be a wash, that type of thing. So that's the deal on the logistics. As far as the logistics of doing business, we're starting to think about those. Like I said, I think we'll be doing all our listing and that type of thing at the house that we're staying at, and then we'll do most of the packing and invoicing and all that kind of stuff at the storage unit. That's the plan. We're going to have to get some sort of an unlimited data plan and figure out a way to be able to access reasonable internet at the storage unit. That shouldn't be a big deal. As far as mail goes, we're going to have a forwarding service of some kind, and most returns and most mail will go there, and then we will have it forwarded to whatever location we're in. There will be a delay in certain things, and so we will have to do certain things around that. Now, we plan on homeschooling on the road, so everybody's going to have to bring their books. We're going to have some sort of a school schedule where the kids are working on their schoolwork. We will intervene as needed, and some of the older kids will get involved with teaching the younger kids. Lon and I will be working on the business. Wheeler will be doing his own thing and working on the business. Kate is going to help out with cooking and all the food stuff, the food prep. We pay her for that. That's part of her contribution to the family. Banana Peeler is in school and will be working in the business some. Benjamin has expressed some interest in working in the business. Obviously, he's still in school. We're a family unit, and the kids, I take a few comments on this that, oh my goodness, you're super successful. Our video, what it takes to make $20,000 a month. You're super successful because you have so many kids, and of course they said it in a different way, and because you break the child labor laws, right? Oh my goodness. We've become so backwards as a society for even anybody thinking that way. It's just so stupid. Kids are a blessing. Number one, that's all I have to say. And I believe if it's your prerogative to have children, I think it's important to have children. That's how we're created. So that's ridiculous. And depending on your spiritual background, it's be fruitful and multiply. Let's just say that, right? Other religions have some similar type guidance. As far as the child labor laws, how is a child, your child, going to learn about the real world if they don't work? Well, a lot of people, I think, that make the comments about these things don't work and are on the dole. So I guess it's your perspective, right? There are some people, of course, who don't get it, that probably do work. But whether, if you have children, whether you teach them at home or in your own business or send them off to work somewhere else, I think it's important that they learn how to work. Okay, don't get wound up. My tooth is still healing, and I'm supposed to not get all wound up. Okay, let's take a little break and look at something. Now, I've talked a lot about what I'm going to bring and things like that, and we're still fleshing a lot of those things out. I've talked about, like, this room, everything's going to have to go, right? None of that's coming along. I did run into, we're going to have a lot of different cases that hold our business stuff, like big cases that we can pack stuff safely for travel and keep it all together. We're also going to have cases for personal stuff, and we ran across these Pivotal brand. It's pretty cool. It's a nice large case, long case. It's got this thing so that you can turn and move all over the place. It really wheels nicely. High quality case. I'm not going to open it up, but it's got nice movable compartments in there so you can have all your personal gear in there. It's got nice wheels, high quality, like I said. Each person is going to be allotted one of these for their personal gear. That's not a lot of room to be on the road full time. However, we're going to do that, and more on that later. Lon, my wife, she gets 2 cases. So you got to know how to negotiate. Right, Lon? I know how to negotiate. So she gets 2 cases, and then obviously we're going to have some personal household gear, and what we can't bring or what we find out we need, or what the places that we rent, which, by the way, they're going to be fully furnished, what they don't have in the kitchen or whatever, we'll buy, thrift store or otherwise, as needed. So we're prepared to do this, and there's quite a few things that we're doing to prepare, as far as downsizing and as far as selecting vehicles, and as far as selecting, equipment to process the business. Right now, a lot of the things that we have are one location based. Like, for example, my big heavy Mac computer under there, I don't want to take that along. I don't want to take my big screens along. We're going, laptops and thin screens as a secondary backup screen. I'm going to look at getting a nice Wi-Fi enabled printer that we can all print from. Not have to be hardwired. I'm looking at all those things. Lightweight scale, lightweight this, that, and the other thing. All these things that are going to do the job, but not be so cumbersome. Having a large moving van is going to give us a little flexibility with that as well. We're not going to have to be like, micro packers. But the number one thing that is important to bring along, besides our family, is going to be inventory. Without this business, without inventory, this business will not run successfully. And if you've watched this vlog for any period of time and have seen how much we sell and some of the things we buy and sell and how we do business, I'm not planning on being less aggressive with the business. I'm not planning on making less money. I'm actually planning on doing as well or better on the road. And so when you're looking at expenses like staying in these properties that are going to be in nice locations, and renting a storage unit that has electricity and is large and can encompass our business, and renting a U-Haul truck to take all our belongings, all our business and everything from, let's say, somewhere in the south end of the United States to Alaska. Those things are all expensive, but we're able to do those because our business, frankly, does pretty well. And so I'm not planning to lose. Now, I used to have a basketball coach. He was a funny dude, because he was like, nothing against people that are shorter that play basketball, but he was like 5'2", and had played like some, I don't think they had CBA ball when he was younger, but he had played college and coached a little college ball and played a little second-tier professional ball in his day. He was an old guy, an old thing, but old Sonny Katzenberg, he had some sayings, but he kept them pretty simple. And some people, when they were trying out for the team and when they were playing, he realized that they just kind of threw the ball up there. And he said, if you're going to shoot the ball, shoot it to make it. Duh, right? Don't just throw it up there. I mean, figure out that point when the ball leaves your hand, you should be looking at the spot you should be looking at. You need to make that shot, shoot to make it. Boy, he'd yell that sometimes to some of his bricklayers out there, some people that were shooting poor shots. Shoot to make it, dealer. I didn't get a lot of chance to shoot, but when I shot to make it. That's more of a rebounder and more of somebody that would go in there and try to muscle and foul a few people on the other team. Oh, yeah. So I'm not going on this trip to fail. That's not what this is going to be. This is not going to be a crash and burn. We're going for an adventure. We're going for family time. We're going to see the United States, all parts of it. We're going to experience things. We're doing business. We're doing schooling. But as far as business is concerned, I'm going into this thing to win. Now, we should probably have more videos about you and your business. If you're not quite where you want to be, or you see yourself somewhere else in your business, we should talk about being in business to win. Because that's really it. I mean, if you're just floating along day by day, coasting, kind of directed by the wind, directed by circumstance, you let your problems get in your way, any of that stuff, you're not in it to win. Because if you're in it to win, all those things, you can deal with them and you can move on towards winning, right? Same with this trip. So I'm getting kind of wound up. Had a little more food today. I didn't have anything but liquids today, but I had more soup today. I think I'm getting more nutrition. Dealer's almost back. Woo! I didn't even get a response from Banana Peeler over there. Almost done, BP. Then we'll look at your hats, and then I got to get on with some camera stuff. I'm going to sort that stuff out and list it up. Mostly lenses, mostly old lenses and some other lots. Okay, so what other crazy things about the trip? Are we crazy for doing this trip? Well, maybe. But there's a lot of places to see out there. We haven't named all our locations, but we want to be in the south in the winter. Where's that thing? Could be a sail. My phone's chirping. We want to be in the south in the winter, and we want to be in the north exploring in the summer. I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to the Maine/Canada area. I want to go to the Charleston, South Carolina area. I want to go somewhere in the Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia area. I want to spend some good time in the Arizona, Utah, Southern Colorado, New Mexico, Texas area. I want to spend some time in the Portland, Oregon / Seattle, Washington area. There's probably a few other stops in there. So we're going to do that. Now, at the end of this thing, we're hoping to plop down. Now, here's another reason that we're going to do this. Before we moved out here, we lived in a condominium, and it suited our lifestyle. It was on a lake, and it was a condominium. Somebody did the yard care, somebody did all the snow work, somebody did all the external maintenance. It was a newer condominium. There wasn't much that could go wrong in the building. We had a lake. We could walk around, hike around. We were close enough to a bigger city, Madison, Wisconsin, if we wanted to go shopping. It was a good place to run. It was a decent place to raise a few children. On the weekends, a lot of crazy people would come to their lake houses on the lake, and they would abuse and use the lake. During the week, it was like a ghost town. It was a nice place to live. When we moved out here, we moved to an apartment, and then a few years later, we moved to our current house. My current house needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of maintenance. My kids are pretty tough on it. My yard is large. I have lots of old trees. I have lots of things that need maintenance and fixing up. I don't like any of that. I'm not a yard farmer. I enjoy the idea of having a nice yard. I just don't want to do it. I also don't really want to pay somebody or oversee somebody to do it. I would rather it just be done by somebody who is overseen by somebody else. I'd pay for it. I just don't want to oversee it. I don't want to maintain my house. Out here, you have to maintain your house, or you really have to get in good with somebody, because there's just not enough people like that out here. There's nobody that's going to come out and mess with your toilet. You have to take care of that. They're going to do the big plumbing jobs. They're going to do the plumbing jobs. And all the little stuff, hardly anybody wants to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to live life. I'm not into any of that stuff. I don't want to do my car maintenance. I stopped doing that years back. I just take my car places. I like to focus on my picking business. I like to focus on my family. I like to have an adventure. So when we stop and go someplace, we're hoping to find a rental or condo situation where we can outsource all that and spend time with the family and grow the family, and spend time with our business and grow the business and travel. So we're looking to get back to that similar type thing that we left when we left Wisconsin. They don't have that kind of thing readily available right around here. Not quite what we're looking for. So that's another reason that we're doing this. It's a break from the old. When we moved to Kansas, I had my tail between my legs from a business standpoint. Family business, tanked. There's videos about that. If you choose to look those up, maybe I'll talk about that again sometime. Big family business, circumstances, bad decisions, some other things, that tanked. A lot of debt in my life. A lot of debt. And so we moved out here for a break, and we spent 10 years, recouped, refocused, and got things together, got another business going, and raised our family. Now we're ready to switch back to a different mode, leave all our stuff behind, basically redesign our life. Now we're not getting rid of our family, not getting rid of the business, we're not getting rid of things that are important, but we are changing our location, and we're changing some things about our life. In the middle of that, we're going on an adventure for 2 years. So this vlog will continue and head towards this whole adventure. We'll keep you updated on the way. Our picking business will continue as it has. It will change somewhat over the months and years. But basically, we buy things and we sell things. Buy things, sell things. That is what we're going to continue to do, and hopefully do it well. my business focus, and relatively soon Lon's business focus and some of my children's business focus will be on that. Our personal focus, obviously family, faith, homeschooling, adventure. So for you that are new viewers that haven't seen this whole summary thing before, I hope that helps a little bit. There are other videos a few months back where I talk about this scenario that's coming up, what we're designing, life by design. And for those of you that have been commenting and are either pro or con, it gives you again some more insight to the thinking pattern and what we're doing here. You can leave your comment below. Again, I read every comment. I thought there was something else I was going to show. I read every comment. I have not been responding to those on the board. There's plenty of them, and I'm focusing on making videos 6 days out of 7. That's where I have to focus. I'm reading the comments. We will do questions and answer sessions every few weeks. I'll answer some videos right on the thing here from time to time. I'll answer some questions. I do appreciate the comments, so please leave one below if you feel so inclined. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow is Saturday. We will be in the office. I've got a project I'm going to work on. I'm going to work on my back storage area. I think that'll be fun. You get to see what's going on back there. And hopefully I hit my goals on what I want to do back there. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everything. Appreciate your support. Pick well, list often. Dealer out.
Hey, Wheeler.
Dealer Production.